Hi, it's to Michelle Birdsong, Eve, Earth's first mother, daughter of the sun. Sharon Singh, Jesus Christ, and T. Michelle Birdsong, Minnow, Mary Magdalene, were raped when they were 5 years old by family members. They were given orders they could not refuse because they were, as all 5-year-olds are, hypnotized. Their authority figures ordered them to do sexual acts. T. Michelle believed herself wrong to do what she couldn't help but do and felt guilty. Sharon Singh, Jesus Christ, Santa Claus, is mirroring her. His wife, Mary Magdalene, also felt responsible for doing bad and felt guilty. When her mother had told her she hadn't wanted her, T. Michelle let go of her identity and became her mother. But Jesus Christ, Sharon Singh, gave her a new birth, and the Son told her she is true. She is being herself, not her mother. Of course, she has 25% of her mother's DNA, but she has struggled for almost 50 years on the path doing the equivalent of meditating all day, every day, and working almost daily perfecting talk and share, a gift to the world from Jesus Christ, Mary Magdalene, and Galileo, who is Robin Birdsong. She's in Hawaii now. She was Azura, Adam and Eve's youngest daughter, married to Seth Will Smith, Adam and Eve's third and perfect son. This is a banyan tree. Robin was a banyan tree in a past life. Oh, okay. T. Michelle Birdsong doesn't blame her mother or her sister for what they said to her. If she hadn't gone through what she went through, she wouldn't be who she is today. She wouldn't realize the time and ages, such as Kali Yuga, are made up by Kal, Allah, and put into the Hindu religion to psych the people of the world into dying, so the world will die just before he gets caught in his deceptions. The ages are limitations placed on the world by the psychological warfare of Kal, Allah, against God's people, good people. T. Michelle Birdsong has balanced the karmas on the members of the Holy Royal Family, heads and members. The members are her husbands and sons and other family members who have remained loyal, attached to her for lifetimes. She has cleared them for having the courage to be energetic and courageous and honest about Kal, Allah's illusions instilled in himself and in others. Epigenetics. Cal's biggest deception is he underestimates Jesus Christ, Gurinder Singh Dillon. He has lived as an average person. He understands the average person, and they see using common sense that he is good and has been self-sacrificing to help them save themselves from eternal damnation in the lower species. So they see that Cal has hurt them, had them eating death, Because if you eat dead animals, that's like eating death. Because then you have to die. If you eat live plants, you get to live. So they would die before being able to expose him to the world. Michelle has gotten to know herself and her many selves she's been. All were honest and intended no harm for any good person, and injustice for bad people who refuse to change. Michelle has learned herself, and since understanding herself, she has grown to love herself. This means the entities on earth and in the upper heavens will love her too. So the earth has a mother in good standing, Eve. Eve has in the past taken responsibility for paradise turning sour and has suffered for lifetimes for the guilt. The only thing she did was talk to a snake. She made a video apologizing for her sympathetic nature. The snake, has no shoes, but worse, he had no feet. Eve never understood why anyone would accuse her of disobeying God knowingly, and she couldn't. She couldn't understand, thought her such low birth. She couldn't understand that anybody thought her having such low birth. She would talk her husband, Adam, into disobeying someone. She would talk her husband, Adam, into obeying someone not a friend of God. It was Adam's first wife, Lilith, who disobeyed God. King James Bible Online.org, Genesis chapter 3. Now the serpent, Stevie Wonder, was more subtle, elusive, cunning, crafty than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Lilith, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? 2. And the woman Lilith said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the beasts of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. The tree in the midst of it is the vagina. And the serpent, Stevie Wonder, said unto the woman, Lilith, Ye shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat some trees, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired, to make one wise, she took of the fruit therein, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband Adam, Michael Bublé, with her, and he did eat. They ate each other, you see. The tree in the middle was a bush on top of Lilith's vagina. Oral sex they're talking about. Street speak, eating pussy was what they were not supposed to do. And she wasn't supposed to suck his dick. Because the mind works by associations. The vagina, Adam's mind, associated with urine and the anus and feces. Adam was eating from the tree of life, That's where babies come from. Okay, A for Adam, ended, N for ended, US for us, which is Adam and Eve. ME for me, ended, Edwin. To Michelle, associated, Edwin. Birdsong, her first husband, with being as her first husband in the garden, Adam. When Edwin had a baby with another serpent named Dia Ali, a black Muslim, Eve T. Michelle was willing to forgive him. He had the baby while he was married to T. Michelle, but his life, T. Michelle went a little crazy. No, wait, I skipped some. But when Edwin said he wanted to keep her in his life, T. Michelle went a little crazy and tried to wreck the car, killing the entire family. Charan Singh, Jesus Christ, Spirit, loosened her hand on the steering wheel and lifted her foot off the gas pedal and saved T. Michelle and her family. Eve T. Michelle was being as Adam when he had been jealous in the garden. She took his jealousy into her being as her own, and that's how she got a jealous streak. Charan Singh, Jesus Christ, welcomed T. Michelle Birdsong to the Dera in India after getting some thousands of dollars to her in the form of a check made out to Michelle Bird Music Publishing Company. At the Dera, he helped her, Charan Singh's wife and grandmother, become balanced again, mentally balanced again. Under, three Satsangi guys, 2 doctors and a nurse, wanted to date her. She was obsessed with the master, however. And the eyes of, verse 7, and the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. The fact of Adam's first wife, Lilith, is mentioned in the Hebrew Bible. Emperor Constantine did not include this information and information about reincarnation in the 4th century Bible. Verse 8, and they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden. Verse 9, and the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. Verse 11, and he said, who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? Verse 12, and the man, Adam, Michael Bublé, said, the woman, Lilith, Lusano Lopilato, whom thou gavest to be with me. She gave me of the tree, and I did eat. In other words, she offered her vagina for him to lick. Verse 13. And the Lord God said unto the woman, Lilith, Lopilato, who is Michael Bublé's wife today, said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did not apple Adam hard beneath his thin skin. Verse 14. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle. In other words, cattle are cursed, and he's cursed above them. And above every beast of the field, upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Note, that's why, as for Stevie W. for Wonder, wanted to die, to end the curse of this life, hoping it wouldn't carry over into the next. That's when he was the serpent. He wanted to die. He was in love with Eve. And also, when he was Judas, he hanged himself. And it was Hitler, he shot himself in the head. So he ends his bad karma by killing himself. Verse 15, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, not Lilith seed in another life. Oh, note, Lilith's seed in another life has been as a nurse who gave the serpent, Stevie Wonder, too much oxygen as a newborn, thereby blinding him. Some people say Stevie's not blind. I've seen his eyes without glasses. They're dead. Now a doctor said they might be brought back to life successfully, however. Verse 16, unto the woman Lilith, Lopilato, Pontius Pilate, she was that too. He said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. Note, stick in the birth exit. God, talking about the vagina, the penis in the vagina. God said, in sorrow, thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband. And in other words, the guy will feel the desire to have sex. And he, Adam, Michael Bublé, shall rule over thee. Note, Lilith did not stick around to suffer the pains, the punishment for disobeying God. She didn't stick around for having painful sex with Adam when she wasn't aroused. And she flew off to be with the negative, evil, disobedient to God entities. Okay, I think I'll stop now. Yeah, I'll stop now. And I'll make a part 2 for the rest of the information. Okay, this is T. Michelle Birdsong, and I'll be back with part 2 very soon. Thank you for watching.